Hello. I'm so cozy and I'm just watching the sunrise on the opposite clouds. Like it's rising, I think, over there somewhere. And then, but there's like clouds on the horizon on the opposite end. I just love sunrises, but it's so windy. It was so windy all night, but I slept so beautifully. I'm a little bit anxious about work today because windy days tend to, because I view wind like as an element. It's the thing that brings in like change and shifts, and I often notice it coming like right after a solstice, like after each season. Like I think every like there's probably winds in between, but I feel like every like a week or two after every solstice there's like this huge period of wind that I think is symbolic of ushering in change. And one of my favorite places to be in wind is like on a cliff and just feeling its power just like washing over you. And like in my head, like that's like cleansing some stuff, or at least it's like, you know, it's imparting the energy of stuff just like whipping by you and through you and off you. But I know that its job, I think, is to like stir and to, I don't know, it's kind of like stirring the pot. I feel like it's like a spoon in water, except it's the wind around bodies and around minds. And so sometimes people can get a little bit more angsty, like a little bit more confused. We're also in a Mercury retrograde, which has already been super interesting. Yeah. I feel kind of just like I've been feeling this past couple months. I feel completely fine, but I also feel like there's stuff that's changing and it's going on, and so I just know my only job is just to keep adjusting when I'm called to adjust, settle when there's an opportunity to settle, and really just flow with it, I guess. Like this Mercury retrograde, it's only been going for 2 days, but I always feel really impacted by them. And also I feel like when they're in the earlier degrees, their impact is like at the beginning. I don't know, I interpret them so many different ways depending on like the sign they're in, the degree that they're happening in, the planets that they're interacting with. But this one has gotten me to recall a lot of things that make me really scared and really, really challenge my current way of life. They challenge my emotions, I think, because there are certain things that I've been so, and I've noticed I've been settling into. Like it was so interesting in like the pre-shadow, I was noticing myself remember a particular thing that a tarot card reader told me a couple of years ago, and having so much resistance around it just because of what my life looks like at the moment. And I'm like, no, actually what she says doesn't have to be true at all. Even at the time I was kind of listening to her and I was like, I don't know if that's ever gonna happen, girl. I've had my own peace with like settling with it and like letting go of it and like releasing expectation of it. But it was coming up again and I was being really like, no, 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 no. Like I was just remembering the words she said, what I had felt at the time of hearing it, like the kind of possibilities that came into my mind when I first heard about this thing, and just the way that my life like expanded and got so much hope and excitement and enthusiasm and like just wonder at like the prospect of this particular thing. And now it comes up again, almost as like a reminder, as like a hey, like this is still a potential, this is still there for your life. I'm not saying that everything a tarot lady tells you is going to be on the money 100% of the time and you should live your life by it, but I've only been to a handful of like different psychic otherworld like channels, communicators, divination people, all of which I got good vibes from. and different levels of their stuff unfold at different times. Like it's also like quite often I feel like it's like a life reading kind of thing. So yes, there's things that are said to you that will apply now, but they'll apply now because of who you are, and you are who you are for the rest of your life, so they'll probably just come back in different folds. Like it's that whole, what's that shell shape that is the thing of change? Fibonacci secrets Fibonacci sequence. Change just keeps on unfurling and like meeting itself back in the same place, but just growing. Yeah, so I'm not like, the thing was, it would mean my life changing in, for what it looks like right now, huge ways that I resist because I love my life right now. And I, in like the pre-shadow, it was even happening like maybe like a month ago, and then it's been happening in like the 2 weeks before. This thing coming back up and me being like, okay, like if it's meant to be, it'll be. And like I trust that my life will just take the course that it will take, and like I will be both like the decider of my life, but also I will be like, I will impact my life, but I will also have my life impact me. Like it's a journey that I've like agreed to being like a two-way thing. Like I give and I receive. I accept that. But I also, you have free will, and it's like, well, I also know that like if I love my life right now, like this is the life that I'm supposed to have right now, presently, and I can do what I can to like live in that. And like, but then my brain started pushing to this like controlling place of like wanting this forever because it's safe and lovely, and like I love my life. Like I love my life. Oh my god, I consider myself so, I don't even consider myself so lucky. Like objectively, in so many ways, I'm so lucky and I'm so privileged. There is little about this that I would want to actually change. I'm so comfortable. But this thing just keeps coming to my head, and I'm like, when I didn't have everything that I have right now, that looked so tempting, and it looked so good, and it looked like an adventure, and it looked like exactly the thing that I wanted. And then now I'm here and I'm like, no. And it's all coming back up. It came up in a big way last night, and I was just journaling for pages and pages. And because of the retrograde, I think my brain is just a bit more flexible and a little less resistant, and is noticing. Like I was noticing my block and being like, it's free will. Like just being like, no, it's because like I have agency over my life, and like even though someone's told me something, it doesn't mean it's gonna happen. Like I can choose what I want. And now I'm seeing it, I'm like, that's just, ooh, it's all levels of resistance. It's not actually acceptance. Like me being like, yeah, sure, it's fine if it happens, but like also it won't, because I'm gonna make it not happen. Just looking at it and I'm like, oh no, I'm just resisting it. And it doesn't mean it's definitely gonna happen. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm going back and forth because I would like to be understood in my feeling at the moment, which is knowing that I do have agency over my life, but then also having lived life and knowing that sometimes shit really does just change. Things change, and quite often it happens, and it is in your best interest to go with it. And I know that to be true. Like I know both rules of life to be true. You know, like you have agency, you have free will, you can choose, you can make your own life. And also stuff just sometimes runs its course, and like you have your time in a place, and you have whatever it is, and it's yeah. Yeah. But then I don't want to feel this feeling and go into grief, because that's taking me out of like my present moment, which is having the thing that I don't want to let go of, and I don't want to let go of it while I still have it. Ugh. But then there's like every little waking moment that I have now of time in this life, in this chapter, in what my life looks like right now, what it's looked like for the past 2 years. That's just been so beautiful. That's just like amped up. I feel like in the past, ever since this zodiac year, like this, like I start every zodiac year with a massive like death of self. And it always changes my perspective on something or other. And I don't know if it's just because I'm entering kind of more like the outskirts of Saturn return kind of stuff. Like it's not going to happen for a little while because Saturn is still in Aries, but my Saturn's in early degree of Taurus. But numerologically anyway, you start entering the energy at 27, 28, like 28 really, because that's when that pattern like thumps it. But so like I don't know, there's so many, again, it's all these rules. There's just rules where like energetically you just are where you are, even if it doesn't apply to like the signposts that really match. But I don't know, this had like March, April this year, like right when Aries season started, the change and like it definitely wasn't the most intense death or like encounter with like the cycles of ending and, you know, ego death or like letting go of parts of yourself that I've encountered, but I felt the most embodied and present the entire time with it. Even in like the darkest moments, I felt so there and so here. That feeling has continued. I can see previous iterations of my life where I've run away from all of these kinds of feelings because why wouldn't you? They're scary and they're hard and like I don't want to feel them. But it's also whatever's settled in the past year is like this acceptance of what's happening is happening, and your best option is to be present with it, because that is the only thing you have really ever. And it's just feeling like that more and more. And I know that there's like, I think around July, mid-July, it's something's basket. It's a B word basket. There's like either a philosopher or an astrologer or like something. But like 50, is it 50 years ago? Or 150 years ago? I don't know. There's just a forecast of like particularly the mid of 2026 ushering in change. Like it's as if we don't even have a good word for it. Like change isn't even like a good enough word to represent what this is. And I'm holding out hope because there's so many, just because a formation's happening in the stars doesn't mean it's necessarily always going to work out positively. Like it mirrors what it's shining onto. It mirrors the world that it's impacting. And, you know, it can only do with what energy is there. But I'm holding out hope. But it just, yeah, it does kind of feel, and I know it's not only me, like I'm seeing it in my personal life, yes, but I'm seeing it unfold. Like I was saying in the last video, like I feel like I've been seeing this constantly, like microcosm, whatever I'm feeling is just a snippet of this collective feeling that is like folding out everywhere. You know, it's affecting businesses, it's affecting families, it's affecting individuals, it's affecting communities, it's affecting governments, it's affecting countries, it's affecting cities, it's affecting everything. And there's a part of me that when I start to like zoom out in that perspective, I start to get a little bit scrambly, and I start to let that scrambly feeling like start to come back down into me, and like start looking at my life and being like, what am I doing? Like, and then I realize that that's not helpful, so I ground into the life that I actually have, that I'm seeing around me, that I love and that I value and that I've built and that I've like, yeah, I've cultivated and I've just sat and enjoyed, and it feels like I'm reaping the seeds that I've sown. And so then I ground into that and I go, okay, like it's going to be okay. Like if anything, it's going to be okay. And now I'm presented with this new feeling of like, but what if this might change soon? And what if that change is good? Are you open to that? And like my sacral chakra is just like, yes. Like it feels like internally when I ask myself that question, the answer is yes. And then mentally, I start freaking out. Because it feels like a part of myself knows something that I don't. I, as in like the ego, the brain. And of course it does. Of course, there's some deeper part of me that is always aware of something that I'm not aware of. But I feel it, and it feels, hi, honey bun. He's like on the edge of the little beanbag. You're so cute. Yeah, I love you. Do you want to come up here and hang out? You don't usually. No, you just want to run around. That's fine. That's fine too. But yeah. So, like you, I too am unsettled. That's a good word for it. But at the same time, I'm trying to be like, I don't know, trying feels like not the right word, because if I'm honest, like but I also am scared of like saying the words and then like immediately being clocked as like being dishonest, or like the words not actually feeling right in my heart. Like I feel okay. I feel okay with it all. But I do know that I'm scared. But I do know that it's okay to be scared. And I think I can hold it. And then my heart starts just like swelling with that, like, acknowledgement. But I also just like announcing all of that is like, you know, those things aren't just going to be heard by you and me. That's going to be heard by, that's my life that I've just spoken into. You know, I would like to be met in that energy of like, I feel like I can do this. But please don't push me to like the edge. Please don't push me to the edge of my sanity in order to do that. I'm asking for grace and kindness and ease. It's almost like because I'm trying so hard, like please make it easy. Which is very Cancer. Like, because I'm trying, I'm reaching out, I'm trying, so make it easy for me, please. That's how I kind of feel. Anyway, are these what people call like existential feelings? Because this just feels, these are my feelings most of the time, which is just a push-pull of like microcosm stuff. Actually, it's not most of the time. There's so many times where I'm stuck in just like spirals around patterns, and there's so much that there's so much of my life where I just feel present and I'm not in the, I guess when I have to sit and like acknowledge my feelings, the ones that don't just flow so easily to the top, that I don't just like live in my day, it's these feelings when I'm recognizing something deeper in myself that just has a meaning far beyond what I can, like my self mind can like sometimes consciously reckon with and like just accept. The only thing that I can accept is that this feeling, when I tap into it in my body, it feels good. Like it feels like centers of myself are lit up in a way that I don't experience when I'm just living my daily life. Like I'm lit up in my heart, I'm lit up in my sacral, even like my solar plexus is coming on a little bit. Like I feel, if that's what people call like alignment, like I feel it up to my heart. I think sometimes this stuff, I don't know, I feel pretty good here. Sometimes this falters. And here I feel pretty safe. Although it's been getting a bit hot recently. So I think they need some balancing out. But honestly, I've been focusing on like this alignment so much recently because this hasn't really been a problem, even if it is off center. And this hasn't necessarily been a problem, but it's just the thing that's been responding the best to like music, or I've been listening just to like chakra blends, hertz blends, or guitar. Like guitar people. Guitar is so I love guitar. It's such a beautiful instrument. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. But yeah, I've been doing everything that I can to feel present. And now my presence, thanks to the retrograde, is being drawn into this deeper considering state. And I'm just gonna have to keep on walking down into it. Like I can't, this isn't the end of this feeling, you know what I mean? Like it's not the end. I'm feeling this and I'm like, there's more. There's more and I know it. There's more and I know it. Anyway, that's where I'm at. And it's just what I wanted to talk about because I needed to voice it. Because, yeah. Yeah. I'll catch you in the next one, when I'm maybe updating you on more of my existential turmoil. If that's what this is, or is it, what's the opposite of existential? Because X is X, is it intra? I feel like that's what this is. It's like intrastential. That's not a word. That's okay. If anyone knows, let me know. But I'm gonna go probably to the forest again. I've been going to the forest like every single day. Although it rained a lot last night, so it might be a bit muddy. I don't know if I want to do that. Maybe I'll go to a cliff and simp in some of this simp in some of this wind, sink in some of this wind. Maybe that's the go. I'm gonna figure that out. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. I hope you can like maybe just feel some camaraderie in a feeling that you might be sharing. If it's similar to this, feel validated. I'm here for you in the sense that this is here for me as much as it is to like be a mirror for like to know that you're not alone and to know that you're like probably not the only person thinking like this or feeling this. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thank you for listening.